The disappointments in this race were profound. I mean, Complexity, he had been very impressive on the front end in the Champagne Stakes, was pretty much a no-show. He finished 10th in here. Chad Brown's other horse, Standard Deviation, a horse that was talked about, ad nauseum, after having a bit of a troubled trip in the Breeders' Futurity, a race in which the way Nick Stroh ran wouldn't have really, the outcome I don't think would have been any different. A lot of people feel that way, and he certainly didn't disprove that by finishing 13th out of 14 in this race. Or so any conjecture that that was a bit of a fluke in terms of his run and that he was going to run much better or perform better at Churchill Downs certainly did not come to any kind of fruition in this race. And so, as said before, after this trouncing, he's going to have to basically lick his wounds and be treated at ICU for third-degree burns and other sustained injuries, and recover from this, like some of the other horses. Derby Date out of the Wayne Lucas barn, he finished ninth in here. He was a non-factor. Tight 10 finished ninth. Derby Date was 11th, sandwiched in between Complexity and Tight 10. And so none of those horses, really did much of anything. Mind Control was a very interesting prospect. The winner of the Hopeful had also, in tying in with the Breeders' Futurity, had missed that race. And again, he tried to, employ forwardly placed tactics, and he just, as I said before, he got outfooted, and this may be a case in point of when the real heavy hitters start to come into the batting cage. Do you have enough velocity to be able to to get these keep these guys from getting on base? And this horse basically was not able to, there was definitely a class jump in this race. But again, he could be excused. He did come in off works. He missed, some momentum was lost, and we're just going to have to wait and see if he can really, recover from this. Maybe he runs in the Remsen. Maybe he stays at Churchill to run in the Kentucky Jockey Club, or Gregory Sacco is going to freshen him up for a run either coming out of Florida, and we may see him, haul back to New York and run in a race like the Gotham. Certainly the Wood Memorial is one of those races you circle on your calendar. That will be more than likely, depending on what route he goes, will be his final prep for the Derby. We'll just again, we'll have to wait and see if he's a horse that really wants to go beyond the hopeful distance, and again, he may very well do that.